there, friends and Boba Fiends. This is Alyssa Aguilas with Books and Boba. So, here we go with part 2 of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Act 1, Scene 4. Transition scene. And now we enter another world of time change. This scene is all about magic. The changes are rapid as we leap between worlds. There are no individual scenes, but fragments, shards that show the constant progression of time. Initially, we're inside Hogwarts in the Great Hall, and everyone is dancing around Albus. Polly Chapman. Albus Potter! Carl Jenkins. A Potter in our year! Ariane Fredericks. He's got his hair. He's got hair just like him. Rose. And he's my cousin. As they turn. Rose Granger-Weasley. Nice to meet you. The Sorting Hat walks through the students who spring into their houses. It becomes quickly apparent he's approaching Rose, who is tense as she awaits her fate. Sorting Hat. I've done this job for centuries on every student's head I've sat. Of thoughts I take inventories, for I'm the Sorting Hat. I've sorted high, I've sorted low, I've done this job through thick and thin. So put me on and you will know which house you should be in. Rose Granger-Weasley. He puts his hat on Rose's head. Gryffindor! There's cheering from the Gryffindor house as Rose joins them. Thank Dumbledore, says Rose. Scorpius runs up to take Rose's place under the Sorting Hat's glare. Sorting Hat. Scorpius Malfoy! He puts his hat on Scorpius's head. Slytherin! Scorpius was expecting this. He nods and half smiles. There's cheering from the Slytherins as he joins them. Polly Chapman. Well, that makes sense. Albus walks swiftly to the front of the stage. Albus Potter! He puts his hat on Albus's head, and this time he seems to take longer. Almost as if he too is confused. Slytherin! There's a silence. A perfect, profound silence. One that sits low, twists a bit, and has damage within it. Polly Chapman. Slytherin? Craig Barker. Whoa! A Potter? In Slytherin. Albus looks out, unsure. Scorpius smiles, delighted, as he shouts across to him. You can sit next to me! Albus, thoroughly discombobulated. Right. Yes. Jan Fredericks. Suppose his hair isn't that similar. Rose. Albus, this is wrong, Albus. This is not how it's supposed to be. And suddenly a flying lesson is happening with Madam Hooch. Madam Hooch. Well, what are you waiting for? Everyone stand by a broomstick. Come on, hurry up. The kids all hurry into position beside their brooms. Stick out your hands, out over your brooms, and say, up. Everyone, up. Rose and Yan's broomsticks sail into their hands. Rose and Yan, yes. Madam Hooch, come on now, I've no time for shirkers. Say, up. Up, like you mean it. Everyone except for Rose and Yan. Up. Brooms sail up, including Scorpius's. Only Albus is left, with his broom on the floor. Everyone, except for Rose, Yan, and Albus. Yes. Albus. Up! 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 His broom doesn't move, not even a millimeter. He stares at it with disbelieving desperation. There's giggling from the rest of the class. Polly Chapman. Oh, Merlin's beard. How humiliating. He really isn't like his father, is he? Carl Jenkins. Albus Potter, the Slytherin squib. Madam Hooch. Okay, children, time to fly. And suddenly Harry appears from nowhere beside Albus as steam expands all over the stage. We're back on platform 9 3/4. This time, and time has ticked on mercilessly. Albus is now a year older, as is Harry, but less noticeably. Albus. I'm just asking you, Dad, if you'll just stand a little away from me. Harry. Second years don't like to be seen with their dads, is that it? An over-attentive wizard begins to circle them. Albus. No, it's just you're you and I'm me. And Harry. It's just people looking, okay? People look. They're looking at me, not you. The over-attentive wizard proffers something for Harry to sign. He signs it. Albus. At Harry Potter and his disappointing son. Harry. What's that supposed to mean? Albus. As at Harry Potter and his Slytherin son. James rushes past them carrying a bag. Slithering, Slytherin, stop with your ditherin'. Time to get in the train. Harry. Unnecessary, James. James. See you at Christmas, Dad. Harry looks at Albus concerned. Albus. My name is Albus, not Al. Are the other kids being unkind, is that it? Maybe if you tried making a few more friends without Hermione and Ron, I wouldn't have survived Hogwarts. I wouldn't have survived at all. Albus. But I don't need Hermione and Ron. I've got a friend. Scorpius. And I know you don't like him, but he's all I need. Harry. Look. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters to me. Albus. You didn't need to bring me to the station, Dad. Albus picks up his case and makes it hard away. Harry. But I wanted to be here. But Albus is gone. Draco Malfoy, who his robe's perfect, his blonde ponytail precisely placed, emerges from within the crowds to be beside Harry. Draco. I need a favor. Harry. Draco. Draco. These rumors about my son's parentage, they don't seem to be going away. The other Hogwarts students tease Scorpius about it relentlessly. If the Ministry could release a statement reaffirming that all the Time Turners were destroyed at the Battle of the Department of Ministries. Harry. Draco, just let it blow over. They'll soon move on. Draco. My son is suffering. Astoria hasn't been well recently, and he needs all the support he can get. Harry. If you answer the gossip, you feed the gossip. There have been rumours that Voldemort's had a child for years. Scorpius is not the only one to be accused. The Ministry, for your sake as well as ours, needs to steer well clear. Draco frowns, annoyed, as the stage clears and Rose and Albus stay ready with their cases. Albus. As soon as the train leaves, you don't have to talk to me. Rose. I know. We just need to keep the pretense up in front of the grown-ups. Scorpius runs on with big hopes and an even bigger case. Scorpius, hopeful. Hi, Rose. Rose, definitive. Bye, Albus. Scorpius, still hopeful. She's melting. And suddenly we're in the Great Hall, and Professor McGonagall is standing at the front with a big smile on her face. Professor McGonagall. And I'm pleased to announce Gryffindor's newest member of the Quidditch team, She realizes she can't be partial. Your superb new chaser, Rose Granger-Weasley. The hall erupts into cheers. Scorpius claps along them all. Albus. Are you clapping for her too? We hate Quidditch. And she is playing for another house. Scorpius. She's your cousin, Albus. Albus. Do you think she'd clap for me? Scorpius. I think she's brilliant. The students circle Albus again, and suddenly a potion class begins. Polly Chapman. Albus Potter. An irrelevance. Even portraits turn the other way when he comes up the stairs. Albus hunches over a potion. Albus. And now we add... Is it horn of a bicorn? Carl Jenkins. Leave him and Voldemort's child to it, I say. Albus. With just a little salamander blood, the potion explodes loudly. Scorpius. Okay. What's the counter ingredient? What do we need to change? Albus. Everything. And with that, time moves on, ever onwards. Albus's eyes become darker. His face becomes more sallow. He's still an attractive boy, but he's trying not to admit it. And suddenly he is back on platform 9 3/4 with his dad, who is still trying to persuade his son, and himself, that everything is okay. Both have aged another year. Harry. 3rd year. Big year. Here's your permission slip to Hogsmeade. Albus. I hate Hogsmeade. Harry. How can you hate a place you actually haven't visited yet? Albus. Because I know it'll be full of Hogwarts students. Albus screws up the paper. Harry. Just give it a go. Come on. This is your chance to go into Honeydukes without your mum knowing. No. Albus, don't you dare. Albus pointing his wand. Incendio! The ball of paper bursts into flames and ascends across the stage. Harry. Of all the stupidest things. Albus. The ironic thing is I didn't expect it to work. I'm terrible at that spell. Harry. Albus. I've been exchanging owls with Professor McGonagall. She's saying you're isolating yourself. You've been uncooperative in lessons. You're silly. You're... Albus. So what would you like me to do? Magic myself popular? Conjure myself into a new house? Transfigure myself into a better student? Just cast a spell, Dad. And change me into what you want me to be, okay? It'll work better for the both of us. Got to go. Train to catch, friend to find. Albus runs to Scorpius, who is sitting on his case, numb to the world. Delighted. Scorpius! Concerned. Scorpius, are you okay? Scorpius says nothing. Albus tries to read his friend's eyes. Your mum. It's got worse. Scorpius. It's got the worst it can possibly get. Albus sits down beside Scorpius. Albus. I thought you'd send an owl. Scorpius. I couldn't work out what to say. Albus. And now I don't know what to say. Scorpius. Say nothing. Albus. Is there anything... Scorpius. Come to the funeral. Of course, says Albus. Scorpius. And be my good friend. And suddenly the Sorting Hat is center stage, and we're back in the Great Hall. The Sorting Hat. Are you afraid of what you'll hear? Afraid I'll speak the name you fear? Not Slytherin, not Gryffindor, not Hufflepuff, not Ravenclaw. Don't worry, child, I know my job. You'll learn to laugh if first you sob. Lily Potter. Gryffindor! Lily. Yes. Alice. Great. Scorpius. Did you really think she'd come to us? Potters don't belong in Slytherin. Albus. This one does. As he tries to melt into the background, the other students laugh. He looks up at them all. I didn't choose, you know that. I didn't choose to be his son. Act 1, Scene 5. Ministry of Magic, Harry's office. Hermione sits with piles of paper in front of her in Harry's messy office. She is slowly sorting through them all. Harry enters in a rush. He is bleeding from a graze on his head. How did it go? Harry. It was true. Hermione. Theodore not? Harry. In custody. Hermione. And the time turner itself? Harry reveals the time turner. It shines out alluringly. Is it genuine? Does it work? It's not just an hour reversal turner. It goes back further. Harry. We don't know anything yet. I wanted to try it out, but then wiser heads prevailed. Hermione. Well, now we have it. Harry. And you're sure you want to keep it? Hermione. I don't think we have a choice. Look at it. It's entirely different from the time turner I had. Harry. Apparently wizardry has moved on since we were kids. Hermione. You're bleeding. Harry checks his face in the mirror. He dabs at the wound with his robes. Don't worry, it'll go with the scar. Harry with a grin. What are you doing in my office, Hermione? Hermione. I was anxious to hear about Theodore Knott, and thought I'd check whether you'd kept your promise and were on top of your paperwork. Harry. Ah, turns out I'm not. Hermione. No, you're not, Harry. Harry, how can you get any work done in this chaos? Harry waves his wand and the papers and books transform into neat piles. Harry smiles. No longer chaotic. Hermione. But still ignored. You know, there's some interesting stuff in here. There are mountain trolls riding grafforuses, grafhorns through Hungary. There are giants with winged tattoos on their backs walking through the great Greek seas. And the werewolves have gotten entirely underground. Harry. Great. Let's get out there. I'll get the team together. Hermione. Harry, I get it. Paperwork's boring. Harry. Not for you. I'm busy enough on my own. These are people and beasts that fought along Voldemort in the Great Wizarding Wars. These are allies of darkness. This, combined with what we just unearthed about Theodore Knott, could mean something. But if the head of magical law enforcement isn't reading his files... Harry. But I don't need to read it. I'm out there, hearing about it. Theodore Knott. It was me who heard the rumours about the time turner, and me who acted upon it. You really don't need to tell me off. Hermione looks at Harry. This is tricky. Hermione. Do you fancy a toffee? Don't tell Ron. Harry. You're changing the subject. Hermione. I truly am. Toffee? Harry. Can't. We're off sugar at the moment. You know, you can get addicted to that stuff. Hermione. What can I say? My parents were dentists. I was bound to rebel at some point. 40 years is a little late, but you've just done a brilliant thing. You're certainly not being told off. I just need you to look at your paperwork every now and again. That's all. Consider this a gentle nudge from the Minister of Magic. Harry hears the implication in her emphasis. He nods. How's Ginny? How's Albus? Harry. It seems I'm as good as a father as I am at paperwork. How's Ron? How's Hugo? Hermione, with a grin. You know, Ron says he thinks I see more of my secretary, Ethel, than him. Do you think there was a point where we made a choice? Parent of the Year or Ministry Official of the Year? Go on. Go home to your family, Harry. The Hogwarts Express is about to depart for another year. Enjoy the time you've got left. And then come back here with a fresh head and get these files read. Harry. You really think it could mean something? Hermione with a smile. It could do. But if it does, we'll find a way to fight it, Harry. We always have. She smiles once more, pops a toffee in her mouth, and leaves the office. Harry is left alone. He packs his bag. He walks out of the office and down a corridor, the weight of the world upon his shoulders. He walks, tired, into a telephone box. He dials 62442. Telephone box. Farewell, Harry Potter. He ascends away from the Ministry of Magic. Act 1, Scene 6. Harry and Ginny Potter's house. Albus can't sleep. He is sitting at the top of the stairs. He hears voices below him. We hear Harry's voice before he's revealed. An elderly man in a wheelchair is with him. Amos Diggory. Harry. Amos, I understand. I really do. But I'm only just home and... Albus. I've tried to make appointments with the Ministry. They say, Mr. Diggory, we have an appointment for you, let's see, in 2 months. I wait, very patiently. Harry. And coming to my house in the middle of the night? When my kids are just getting ready for the new school year, it's not right. 2 months pass. I receive an owl. Mr. Diggory, I'm awfully sorry, but Mr. Potter has been called away on urgent business. We're going to have to shift things around a little. Are you available in about for an appointment in, let's see, 2 months' time? And then it repeats again and again. You're shutting me out. Harry. Of course I'm not. It's just, I'm afraid, as head of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement, I'm afraid I'm responsible. Amos. There's plenty you're responsible for. Harry. Sorry? Amos. My son. Cedric. You remember Cedric, don't you? Harry. Remembering Cedric hurts him. Yes, I remember Cedric, your son. His loss... Amos. Voldemort wanted you, not my son. You told me yourself the words he said were, kill the spare. The spare! My son, my beautiful son, the spare. Harry. Mr. Diggory, as you know, I sympathise with your efforts in memorialising Cedric, but... Amos. A memorial? I'm not interested in a memorial, not anymore. I'm an old man, a dying old man. And I'm here to ask you, to beg you, to help me get him back. Harry looks up, astonished. Get him back? Amos, that's not possible. Amos. The Ministry has a time turner, does it not? Harry. The time turners were all destroyed. Amos. The reason I'm here with such urgency is that I've just heard a rumour, a strong rumour, that the Ministry sees an illegal time turner from Theodore Nott and has kept it for investigation. Let me use that time turner. Let me have my son back. There's a long, deadly pause. Harry is finding this extremely difficult. We watch as Albus moves closer, listening. Harry. Amos, playing with time? You know we can't do that. Amos. How many people have died for the boy who lived? I'm asking you to save one of them. This hurts Harry, he thinks. His face hardens. Harry. Whatever you've heard, the Theodore Nott story is a fiction, Amos. I'm sorry. Delphi. Hello! Albus jumps a mile as Delphi, a 20-something determined-looking woman, is revealed, looking through the stairs at him. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to startle. I used to be a big stair listener myself. Sitting there, waiting for someone to say something the tiniest bit interesting. Albus. Who are you? Because this is sort of my house and... Delphi. I'm a thief, of course. I'm about to steal everything you own. Give me your gold, your wand, and your chocolate frogs. She looks fierce and then smiles. Either that or I'm Delphi Diggory. She ascends the stairs and sticks out a hand. Delphi. I look after him. Amos. Well, I try. And you are? Albus. Rueful grin. Albus. Delphi. Of course! Albus Potter! So Harry is your dad? That's a bit wow, isn't it? Albus. Not really. Delphi. Ah, have I just put my foot in it? It's what they used to say about me in school. Delphine Diggory, there isn't a hole that she couldn't dig herself into. Albus. They do all sorts of things with my name too. Pause. She looks at him carefully. Amos. Delphi! She makes to depart and then hesitates. She smiles at Albus. We don't choose those who we're related to. Amos isn't just my patient, he's my uncle. It's part of the reason I work the job at Upper Flagley, but that's made it difficult. It's tough to live with people stuck in the past, isn't it? Amos. Delphi! Albus. Upper Flagley? Delphi. St. Oswald's home for the old witches and wizards. Come see us sometime, if you like. Amos. Delphi! She smiles and then trips as she travels down the stairs. She enters the room with Albus and Harry in it. Albus watches her. Yes, Uncle? Amos. Meet the once great Harry Potter, now a stone-cold ministry man. I will leave you in peace, sir, if peace is the right word for it. Delphi, my chair. Delphine. Yes, Uncle. Amos is pushed out of the room. Harry is left, looking forlorn. Albus watches on, thinking carefully. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of Books and Boba. If you have any feedback, go ahead and put it in the comments below. Have a great time. Read, drink, and be merry.